Thank you both for being here. Sherry, tell me about the role of the Seattle Police Foundation.
Sure. So we are a nonprofit, and our work focuses on bringing partnership and funding opportunities to the Seattle Police Department that will improve public safety for the city of Seattle.
And some people might ask, well, isn't that what the taxpayers are supposed to do?
And yes, that would be the answer. But these are topsy-turvy times, Brandy. And so the department is finding that their resources are rapidly shrinking, and the need in the community is growing. Our original intent was to provide enhancements over what the city was providing, but now we're finding that we're filling in, for more essential services.
Mark, for Home Street Bank, I imagine there's a ton of things out there where you guys could send your goodwill. Why is this what you decided to do?
Well, thanks, Brandy. And in fact, for many, many years, we've been one of the most philanthropic companies, clearly one of the most philanthropic banks in the state. And we give to a wide range of missions, all in the basic needs category: housing, food, crisis intervention. But this year, when we looked at the landscape, we had a better year than we expected. And so we decided to make some more year-end gifts. And when we looked at the basic needs of the city, the thing that really stood out for us was public safety and the deterioration of public safety over the last year and a half. And we thought it was the right time to stand up publicly, to talk about it. I have done personally, and as a company, to give to give in a way that will support public safety in the city and in the other markets we do business in. So we did a couple of things. We've made this gift to the Seattle Police Foundation. It's a matching gift. We're hoping other businesses and individuals will join us in supporting the police officers at this time in this manner. We felt that a focus on officer wellness and retention and morale was where our focus should be. Brandy, we don't believe this is a political issue. We believe that this is a basic needs issue, and that's why we're focusing on it at this time.
Well, we're going to get to that political issue aspect of this, but Sherry, you heard him talk about where they would like the priorities to be, at least with this matching money: officer wellness, morale, retention. Anybody who picks up a newspaper or consumes any Seattle media knows why that would be a particular area of focus. So how could you use up to $300,000, $150,000 from Home Street in the matching funds to help aid in those endeavors?
Sure. Well, as you can imagine, right now officers are feeling the impact of the last 2 years. From working through COVID, from the civil unrest to the lack of support from city council, and to the attrition. And they first of all need to know that somebody appreciates and cares about what they're doing, for our community. But secondly, we need to make sure that they're able to show up every day and bringing their best. And so our plans are, initially, we want to provide 2 service dogs for the department. So they will be assigned to the wellness unit. They will be able to go out and meet with officers who've had a stressful day or a stressful call, and help them with their own stress. We're looking at some mobile apps that officers can get on their phones that they can do a quick stress reduction there. And then we're also looking at doing some improvements on their break rooms, just to make sure that while they're not working, they can go to a place that's comfortable for them, and so they can get right back out on the streets and feel like they've had a restful break.
That's great. And Mark, you mentioned this isn't a political issue. It certainly shouldn't be a political issue. And I don't think any of my viewers view it as a political issue to have, a safe city, to have officers who feel like people appreciate the work that they're doing. But I will say, and this, policing is political in Seattle. At least it has been for many years. Is there any worry that crosses your mind as a business to put yourself out there and say, hey, we want to support the police?
Look, it's not that we don't recognize policing has been politicized. And some of that is appropriate if we're talking about improper use of force, concerns about racism or inequitable policing or unequal protection of different communities. Those are bona fide issues and they're political as well. Having said that, police protection, having adequate number of officers, having adequate training and resources, those items shouldn't be political because we all need a safe place to live and a safe place to do business. We don't think that should be politicized. We think it's a fundamental right. And I know it's a fundamental component of a healthy community.
Just as a business, has Home Street been impacted at all by some of the rise in crime, low police staff, and just quality of life issues that we've been experiencing?
We have in about the same ways all of our businesses have been impacted, particularly downtown. Many of our branches were boarded up for a long period of time because of the unrest in the city. We still deal with homeless issues, people sleeping in our doorways, people sleeping or encampments near our branches. Our customers have had negative interactions with some of those folks. There have been additional property crimes, automobile break-ins, intimidation, things of that sort. Many of our employees don't feel safe coming downtown, and they don't feel safe yet on public transportation. Those are important issues to us, and they should be to everyone.
You had mentioned a call to action that you guys made saying, hey, we're doing this. We're encouraging other businesses to do this as well. People deserve to feel safe when they come to the city. Sherry, make your, you kind of know to a large extent what officers are dealing with and what their needs are and where their needs aren't being met by the city. Make your call to action for people to step up and take advantage of this grant.
Sure. So, if this issue resonates with you, and I do hope it does, as Mark spelled out, this is something that is impacting everybody. I would encourage you to go to our website, which is www.seattlepolicefoundation.org. On our homepage, you'll see a Home Street logo. Click on that, and that will take you to the donation page. And our, generous friends at Home Street are matching dollar for dollar every donation that comes in up to $150,000. And we will invest those dollars into meaningful programs that will help our police officers be better.
And tax deductible, right?
Tax deductible. And we want to make sure that we maximize this opportunity. So we're asking our community to, step up and be generous and help us out.
Mark, I'm going to throw a political question at you to close it out, because you so eloquently, I think, said what a lot of people have a hard time with, which is if for most reasonable people, you can see the needs to improve law enforcement in certain areas. You can see some of the instances like what happened to George Floyd and think that's not right. But you also understand the basic need to make sure that the public is safe, that businesses can operate. What do you think it's going to take for us to bring our civic dialogue back to a place where we can have reasonable conversations like that about issues like this?
I think recognition is the first step. And I think that there's a growing recognition that the resources we have provided our police department are inadequate, but the support, not monetary support, but the moral support has been even more devastating. The single most cited reason that we've lost officers during this period of time is not because of resource cuts. It's because of support, public support. And that's why I feel it's important for business leaders like myself and others to speak up and support public safety, not the politicization of policing, but public safety. And I will tell you, Brandy, my experience since I wrote an op-ed in the Seattle Times, I've done a number of shows, and I've had a lot of internal employee communications as well. My experience has been 99% positive, maybe 99.9%. I have had so little negative impact. I share that because I'm encouraging other people, like-minded people, which is most of us, to speak up, because unless people feel comfortable seeing other people speak up and invest, they're not going to do so. And there is not the risk of negative publicity, public pushback that people perceive. Most of us are moderate people. All of us need adequate police protection. We might disagree as to the number of officers, but I don't know anyone, well, any reasonable folks, who believe we don't need police officers protecting us. And Brandy, we really appreciate talking about this today.
Yeah, it can be hard to go out on a limb, I think, in this political climate, but the more people that do it and speak their mind, the more reasonable people, I think the easier it becomes. So good for you for stepping up and doing something I'm sure a lot of businesses would like to do and maybe will do in the future. And Sherry, thank you for the work that you guys are doing at the Seattle Police Foundation. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. And thanks for having us on today.
Thanks, Brandy.